obligation, neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell a ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong, strong, strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imanis, less stress on the economy. You and Manchester hold up the country. You didn't see us down by the Bury when they send SSU to between. Trick us with campaign promises. We won't say a tease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eating food. You think politicians would? Trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now refrain. You remember in the Bible, God had a plan for Jonah to restore Nineveh. But who will restore Grenada? Is it the same Jonah? Lots of doubt, so I ain't running up my mouth. And I ain't counting no chicken before the hatch. Politicians sometimes form a crooked batch. After they get the vote, they now sing one note. But here comes Fort Judy and Nancy Payne, with $1 million house and brand new car on the scene, while our hungry belly's still grumbling. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain. So yellow people say, next election not me stain that finger. Cause after we say enough from Jonah, here comes still with more pressure and hunger. And from the mouth of Grenada, only one thing I utter: the Congress neglect us, the Congress fail us. And I could never understand the distribution of the wealth. So drink your bush home if you want good health. And for real, we appreciate the free barrel, but they only come in December. So what we are do from January to November? Suck salt and drink Nawasa water. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, you now.
And a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I will be the tongue tying up tonight. I will be with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Of course, it is Talking Points. And we are live on 91.9, 91.5 Real FM. Out there in Brooklyn on 94.9 We Noise Radio.
Things affect us negatively, we are still blessed by the Almighty. This poem may not be liked by you, but I know you will like this poem.
And we're also live our website, Talking Points, our Talking Points website. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook. And let me see on Facebook. Let me see if I could find who is there on Facebook. Imagine, no signing in there. Come on, man, Sheldon, you have to do better than that. Let me see. You see, you hear a thing in the background there? So let me see if I could sign in properly here now. Also, Gertrude, I'm seeing you over there on the YouTube already. Let me see who else is over on the YouTube. Come on, load up. Let me see what's going on here. Nice.
World to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one.
Good night to you, Tati, over on the Facebook. I'm seeing Donna, Red Girl. I'm seeing Sharon, Williams, Tora, Justin, Kim, Bernadette. I'm seeing you, Cynthia, Dwight, Maria, Edlin. Let me see who else is there. Dr. Augustine Panchoon. Good night to you. Let me see. I'm seeing Cindy there. I'm seeing Petra there. I'm seeing Teresa, Phyllis, Karen, Andre. And let me say a special. Good night to all of the ladies. Today was International Day of Women. And various activities taking place. I know the New National Party also had an activity today. Let me see. I got a picture earlier of the activity that was taking place, that the New National Party had the International Women's Day activity. Well, I know they have one in Carriacou as well. This is the one that took place on the mainland today. This one was taking place this afternoon. I'm not sure if it's finished yet, I'm not even sure if it is finished yet. But the women of the New National Party, they were having that activity at the arena up there in Plains, St. Patrick. They had several presentations. They had one by Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the political leader and leader of His Majesty's opposition. They had a presentation on finances and so on, how to deal with your finances, by the, I still say the Honorable Oliver Joseph, and I know Dr. Panchu also spoke to them. I know that various other presentations were made at that function. Maybe somebody will call in a little later and tell us. We know the ladies running home right now because they want to come and watch Talking Points. All right? Nice.
Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house gets yellow.
So to all the ladies under the live,
Get yellow, and so says 11.
and all the men supporting the ladies who support the men,
We won't stay your tease. That's
happy International Women's Day.
in vain, hoping you'll listen.
I got some other pictures. I didn't get time to load them into the system yet.
Old school.
But again, for those of you that missed it, let me just give you a little look here. That is the some of the women of the New National Party came out to our International Women's Day activity today. Yeah, that's just some of them.
To allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell a ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
Yeah, and after last night's program, I got a lot of messages. In fact, some people in the field of journalism, they have been contacting me. I've also been contacted by several other people voicing their concerns, serious concerns in relation to the data protection bill that is being put forward into Parliament on Tuesday by the NDC administration. Yeah, that bill which seeks to do several things. Now, I am not saying that the bill is bad in its entirety. I'm saying that there are certain sections of that bill that need to be addressed. For instance, I understand that the bill will be dealing with things, for instance, like if you have your personal medical records, that people can't access or should not access your personal medical records. And if that happens, then there are certain consequences for the individuals who allowed them to do that and the individuals who received and shared that. I could understand in those contexts. But when it comes to state bodies and state enterprises, and when it comes to like certain financial matters and that sort of thing, yeah, and other forms of corruption that can be taking place in state bodies. And so I believe that, yeah, leak the information, put it out there. Yeah, there should be no fear of that sort of information coming out. Right? Nice, yeah. So I have no problem with that one. But we'll be getting a little deeper into that a little later on. We're not going to get into that one right now. But again, for those of you that missed it last night, I want to play that interview that was done with the housing minister. Yeah, Mr. Philip Telesford. So I want to play that interview for those of you that missed it last night, because I want you all to hear for yourselves. Those of you that missed it, those of you that missed it last night, because I only played it once last night. So those of you that missed that last night, I want you all to hear it tonight for yourselves. All right? And then I'm going to play it a little later down in the program again. So let me play that interview with the Minister of Housing when he's speaking about, in particular, the Carriacou situation.
Minister, can you give us an update as to how the process is unfolding as it relates to the Chinese low-income housing project in terms of distribution?
The committee has gotten to its final stage of work. That's the committee that has been set up by Cabinet for the distribution of the housing units. They've gotten to the final stage. As a matter of fact, they are now in Carriacou. They're now looking at the distribution of the housing units in Carriacou. And they have looked at what has happened in Carriacou. And unfortunately, we have to review the entire process because the letters that were issued to potential homeowners or unit owners in Carriacou has not followed due process. By that I mean that there was a cabinet select committee that was used for the distribution of those units. That committee was not involved in the process. That's for the early distribution prior to the general elections held in June last year. As a result of that, the committee has decided that they would consider all applicants, those to whom letters were already distributed and those who did not get any letters. All of those in Carriacou who have applied will be duly considered. The entire process will be walked through by the selection committee to ensure that a fair and transparent process is upheld. So we recognize that the initial process that was done for the distribution of those housing units up to the process of the letter distribution, that process was flawed. And so they must now reset the process to ensure that people are treated equitably and that there is no political interference. So as they conclude their work, as they enter into this final stage, we encourage them to be very transparent, be very open, and treat everybody with fairness and equity.
The recipients, those who have received the letters, will there be a special call to them to return it? How will that process work?
Right. So we deem these letters in its current form to be null and void because it did not follow the cabinet-approved process. That's where we at. And so we are not saying to these people who would have been issued these letters, we're not saying to you that you will not be considered. That's not the case. We are saying to you that your name will be in the mix and you will be treated fairly as any other citizen residing on the island of Carriacou and Petite Martinique.
So there it is. You've had the words of the minister himself. That's not me saying what the minister said. That is the minister making his own statement to the unfortunate people up there in the sister island of Carriacou who were supposed to be receiving their houses. They were supposed to be collecting their keys to be moving into their houses by now and are now being told, well, we ain't too sure that you're getting a house, you know. I mean, and I want to state for the record that I believe that is totally unfair. I believe that has been a wicked act. Yeah, I believe it is a wicked act. This is an administration, the present NDC administration, is an administration that said they are going to build 500 houses per year for every year that they are in office. Yeah, I'm not saying that that's impossible, you know. What I am saying is that if that is your aim, if that is your goal and your objective, which means that they had to actually build 500 houses in 3 months if they have to keep that promise, because in 3 months they'll be on their 1 year anniversary, which means they'll be behind by 500 houses from whenever they start. In my view, if that is your intention, which means that Carriacou and Petite Martinique ought to benefit out of the mechanism that you put in place to build these 500 houses. They've stated that they're not going for the apartment style buildings again, but somebody have land, they're going to bring the thing, they're building the house on your land for you. I'm saying, instead of doing what you're doing to the people of Carriacou, causing them significant mental distress by what you are doing, that the approach ought to have been allow the people who have already gotten the letter from the government of Grenada saying that you have been approved for one of these houses to get their house still. Not take it back from them. Because some of these people started making payments towards various things for their apartments. Now they're back to zero. They're not sure they're going to be getting those houses. They've been trying to get their 1-1 appliances and so. Some of them have been making payments, I am sure, towards those houses because I know the mechanism for them to actually start making payments was being put in place. And now you have a situation where these people, having spent money with the full intention and understanding that government is a continuum, and if one government give it to you, the next government ain't supposed to take it away from you, with the full understanding that government ought to be a continuum, they started preparations to move into these places, only to be told now, all you ain't getting them place. We ain't sure. The letters all you have, we consider those letters to be null and void. That's the sort of thing, that is happening here right now. But we're not surprised. The actions of the NDC now is not surprising to people like me. And I know that it's not surprising to many of you out there. Yeah, I know it is not surprising to many of you out there. Because we've been down this road with the NDC before. Many of the things that we're seeing now, we know happened under the last NDC administration. You see, I keep saying, the young ones may not be aware of many of these things. And the reason that they're not aware of many of these things is that they were little 8-year-old, 9-year-olds. They weren't paying attention to politics. They weren't paying attention to what's going on in the country at that age. When the last NDC was in office, those same little children at that point in time have been voters in this last election. They are the ones that selected and elected the present administration. But they had no knowledge of the historical precedents that have been set by NDC administrations. So we know that the last NDC administration did similar to what this one is doing. So that when it came to Karaku and people were given papers for land in Karaku, the NNP give it, the NDC take it away. That is what happened in Karaku. Many people who got their papers for the piece of land in Karaku, when the NDC came in 2008, they took it back. The same sort of thing they're doing now with the houses in Karaku. Like they didn't learn from 2008. So they've come back in 2023 and are doing the same thing again. Don't think that what happened under the SEED program is the first time that that sort of thing has happened to the elderly and vulnerable people in Grenada. No, 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 no. Remember, back between 2008 and 2013, the NDC administration then did the same thing to the elderly. There were many people, ageable people, in their 70s and 80s and 90s and even 100 plus, that had their water cut off and were taken off of the list for public assistance. That happened under the last NDC administration. So to see it happening now is not to say that it's something new, that you never know that something like that does happen under an NDC administration. That is nothing new. They did it before and they're doing it now. Yeah? So it is nothing new to say like this NDC is any different from the last one. It seems as though they're operating in the same way, in the same form. So when you see what happened at their convention on Sunday, you get a clearer understanding of why they're doing the things that they're doing, because it's basically the same people that were standing up in the background have now walked to the forefront. The people who were pulling the strings on the marionette, they put a pretty face on the NDC. So they put some young people and they speak about young people and their energy, and it's good to have young people in charge of the NDC and so on. And then what happened? Now we've seen that all of those young people, probably the youngest person on the NDC executive now is probably Mr. Romain, I would think. All of the others have been pushed to the side and pushed to the back. And now you see the elderly. Yeah? The elderly, from chairman down, the elderly have taken over. So now you see all of these people. And remember, there's the same party that was talking about who need to retire and all kind of thing. The same party now with Mr. Sylvester Corliss as their chairman is the same party that has been talking about who need to retire and who need to go and who need to stay out of politics and all kind of thing. I heard the assistant PRO calling a program this morning talking some sort of nonsense about ageism, and so he didn't listen to the NDC campaign. I don't feel my partner Terry listened to the NDC campaign. You could not have listened to the NDC campaign and tried to make sense with a statement like that, Because obvious you didn't listen to the NDC campaign. Where they're calling people old and who expire and who are to go. Look at the NDC executive now. All them young, vibrant people, where are they? They push them in the back. So all they understand that is what's going on in the ministries too. You actually feel some of the people who have been named as ministers are the actual ones running the ministries? Listen. The leader of His Majesty's opposition has on 2 occasions requested specific information from the government of Grenada. One of the questions that he has asked has been, who are the people that have been hired as advisors, transition leads, and in other capacities since the NDC administration took office on the 23rd of June 2022. They keep refusing to answer the question. It has been asked in Parliament. That question has been asked. They sent some answers to it last year. When you go through who they put down that have been hired, you and I would realize that some names missing from it. And what they did, for instance, the press secretary's name is nowhere there. Senator Quince Britton, who was engaged under the CES program, unless he was working under CES without any payment, which I don't think is real. I believe that he was being paid. His name is not on the list that has been delivered. So they are avoiding answering those questions. They don't, for instance, a question has been asked about a question, I just was making sure I sent a message out there. A question has been asked about the issue of the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation. And the question that has been asked, who is the staff? Who have you staffed that ministry with? And who are some of the people? What is their duties and the salary scale and thing? Up to now, they're refusing to answer that question. We have a call online. Good night. Hello?
Hey, good night.
Hey, my partner. Good night, Senator.
Hey,
I am good, man. You're live on air.
Yes, well, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be engaged on talking points.
Yes. And let me let people know who is there. I'm speaking to Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox, my good kayak buddy. Yes, so go right ahead.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's appropriate that I take this opportunity again, which I did earlier today, to just wish all women of the Trinidad State, happy International Women's Day. Women play a special role in the development of this country, and it's important that we recognize their contribution every step of the way. And so today is their day, and so I just want to take that opportunity to recognize them in that regard. So I just want to start on that note.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but most importantly, I just call, somewhat very upset hearing the announcement by the Minister for Social Development regarding the housing, the low income housing project for Carriacou, with the decision that was taken to rescind all the persons who received letters indicating that they would be given an opportunity to get a unit at the Dumfries housing project. As a member of cabinet, all the processes were followed. Persons fill out the application forms. They went through the process with the criteria, and persons were given an opportunity to have the home. and I'm quite certain some of the persons who have received an opportunity to get a unit, some of them are single mothers, and to be hearing that at this point in time, on this day, International Women's Day, I don't think it is a good thing at all. And we are very, very disturbed by that decision to do that. However, not surprised. What we learned quite recently, as you would have seen on national television or on the internet, of course, the policy of the governance here in Carriacou is that to remove persons that are perceived to be supporters of the New National Party and make way for persons who are supporting NDC. And that is the policy. So what we see happening is the same thing. But based on our recollection, the selection process and the persons who receive the units, notifications that they're going to get units, it was a balanced process. And no one cannot go and say that every person that receives, they are all supporters of the National Party. And no one cannot. And they know the names. And hence the reason there have never been any ruckus or any dispute about the persons who are given an opportunity to benefit from those units. I've never heard anything since from the time the names were released. We haven't heard any issue at all in the public. You know, sometimes you hear discourse going backward and forward, but we have never heard, children, not once, any major issue with that. The public in Carriacou felt that persons who benefited, persons who deserve it. And hearing now that they have decided to rescind all that because they see some process wasn't followed, some committee. That is total false. That is false. And I think it's really an attack on Carriacou again by this administration. In 2008, the first thing they did, they rescinded all the persons who received allotted lands through the Land Settlement Act. And then now we see persons receiving housing units, and it's been taken back. So I don't know. I just think that it is something that every person have to lend a voice to ensure that the persons who receive through the initial selection process get their unit. Because my thing is that you announce that you're going to build 500 houses, Grenadian style houses every year. That is what was announced. So there is ample land in Carriacou. So go ahead and start building. Start building, and if there are more applicants, give them an opportunity to benefit from the new houses that you're going to build. Why are you taking back from persons to give to other persons? That I can understand. And that is what I am personally disturbed by, and I don't think that is the right thing to do. And I think it's just an attack on Carriacouans by this administration, children. I just wanted to register that tonight. I don't want to take up too much of the time. Other person may want to call in.
No. Take up time. No, my brother. Take time. Talk.
Yeah, and I'm
giving you time.
I will have more to say on this as we gather the information. I will have more to say on this going forward.
Let me ask you though, have some of the people who are being affected by this reached out to you? What are some of the things you've been hearing from them about this? Because I know one of them reached out to me, and my goodness, that child, what she's going through, and a mother. Again, it's an International Women's Day.
I know for a fact that there are single mothers who have been given the opportunity to benefit from this. And to get, not only that, they were probably already making preparations, and maybe would have even made financial investments in getting fixtures and furnitures and so forth for the place. And you know something alarming? That persons, supporters of this party, condemn the units. Year after year, they condemn the units. Lo and behold, now you're taking it from the people to give to your supporters. I mean, come on. I mean, you have done enough already. You up to today, persons were given notice that their job has been terminated, and we know that more persons are going to be sent up. That is their policy. that is what they have decided to do, to really drive a serious wedge in Carriacou. Yeah, I mean, serious. I mean, I've never seen Carriacou like this. I've never, in my entire life, I mean, I live in Carriacou all my life, and I've never seen Carriacou so divided. You know, I mean, it's really, really happening. I don't know. And your person's campaign on bringing Carriacou together and unity and creating jobs. Are you creating jobs by firing people and hiring people? Are you creating jobs? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, no serious policy, nothing for young people. I mean, anyhow. But I have more to say. I have more to say, and I will deal with that maybe on a separate program, you know, and also to look at some things. And you know what is the most funniest thing, Sheldon? Somebody called me and told me that they heard, the activists on some radio program mentioning that what I have ever done for Carriacou. I mean, that is the biggest joke. I mean, anybody who knows me, anybody who knows of me, and hear somebody asking what I have done for Carriacou, I mean, they would just laugh. They would laugh, you know, but they will get a chance to hear some of the things.
Well, my brother,
you know, they will get a chance.
I don't think they're speaking to the people of Carriacou when they make a statement like that. They're speaking to Grenadians. They're speaking to people who have not spent significant time on the island of Carriacou to make a statement like, what have you ever done for Carriacou? They could never be speaking to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. No way they could be speaking to them. From Limleh Farm to the hospital, they could not be speaking to them. I could tell you that, and I live on the mainland.
I guess as much they're probably trying to find something negative to say, you know, to try to paint me in some picture or something or the other. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, as I said, we have a lot more to discuss, but I really want to register my condemnation of that action, that decision to rescind all the units, the persons who receive those units. I mean, this is really, really, really hurting. I mean, I just put in myself in those persons' position. You know, they probably would have been waiting for this for quite some time. Even when those units were being built, persons would have applied and they waited patiently, only to find out now that this government decided that they're going to just pull the rug from under ordinary, struggling, poor people. You know, just disenfranchise that just like that and say some process wasn't followed. You say you're going to build 500 new houses per year. Grenadian-style houses to be exact. Those were the words. Build them. There's plenty more land in Dumfries. There's enough land in Dumfries. So if there are more persons wanting a house or needing a house, go and build houses for them. Why are you taking the houses, the units, from the people who have already received notification that they're going to get them? Why are you doing that? I mean, I just can't understand. I mean, this is just really crazy. You know, so I mean, I'm a little bit ticked off by that. I'm very much. I mean, I'm a very calm person. You know me, I'm very cool, but I just think this is sad. I mean, I'm trying to find a better word than wicked, but oh gosh, that's the only thing I'm coming up with.
The words I would use, I can't use on radio, so I can't use on the live. Okay.
No. This is ridiculous. No. Come on, you can't do people that. You can't do people that.
No,
man.
and Carriacou is a
how,
small place.
How could you have a representative say fighting for Carriacou? Huh? You say fighting for Carriacou, and you're sitting there, and you're allowing this to be done to Carriacou, and you ain't saying nothing. I mean, I can't believe you're supporting something like that. I just can't believe.
And Petit Martinicans, because they're two from Petit
houses for Carriacou. Why you taking away from people to give to other people? Why you ask for more houses? Don't do that.
And Brother Cox, if I remember correctly, there were at least one or two people from Petit Martinique who were selected for those houses too. So it's not just Carriacou.
Correct.
It's people from Petit Martinique
as well.
They've done this too as well.
That is correct. And then also a percentage was held back, was retained for in the event that somebody have a fire also, so that they have a place they can rest off until their house is rebuilt and everything. So everything was well thought out. Everything was well planned. So I don't understand where this rubbish is coming from about some committee. Why? How come Carriacou all of a sudden you just single out Carriacou and you're just doing Carriacou and that? Why are you doing Carriacou and that? What Carriacou have ever done? This is the first time we get an opportunity to be part of the housing units. And you know what is even more? More disgraceful about this? It was the Honorable Elvin Nimrod, who was the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who signed the agreement for the country. Who signed the agreement, and now Carriacou getting his fair share. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. That is how you want to. I mean, trust me. I don't know. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Go and build more houses. Why are you taking back the units from the people? Why are you doing that? I mean, I think it's only. I mean, as I say, it's only one word that comes into mind: wickedness. That's the only thing that comes into mind.
As I said, it have a few that come into my mind, but I can't say them.
Yeah. That wickedness, man. That's just pure wickedness. I mean, people looking forward to moving a little place and organize themselves. Why are you doing that? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Have a heart, man. You have a heart. You see your symbol. I mean, no, man. No. This is not good. This is not good. No, we ain't gonna rest on that.
And remember, this is also on the back of all the firings that have been taking place. And remember, when you hear the number of people that have been sent home, and then you look at the size of government staff in Carriacou, you realize how significant that is. And then the reasoning behind the firing of these people, when you have that reasoning being applied to them, and you have people that have done the exact same thing that they are being accused of, and these people are being promoted and given new positions and all sorts of things.
And that's the point I'm making. You're firing somebody because you say they was jumping in election. But the person who jumped in election with you're putting them in the position. So I don't understand. If you're firing me for committing an offense, and somebody did the same thing like me, you're hiring them, why are you sending? I don't understand.
And there's also this aspect to it, Senator, where these people have not been afforded due process according to the laws of Grenada. If you are being accused of something, you have to have an opportunity to defend yourself. They were just sent home. No opportunity to defend themselves. They were not given their vacation pay. They were not given any sort of benefits that they're supposed to get on being sent home. None of it. They just send them home. Not an opportunity to defend yourself and say anything. And they believe that, or they're laughing at that.
The action is just basically is a clear representation of how they really truly feel about people. I mean, if you go back from the onset, the inception, the people were lied to. They were told that if you have a contract, the contract is illegal. They were told that they're going to receive permanent employment with one stroke of the pen. Those were the words. They lied to people, and they continue to lie, and now they're taking advantage of them, taking their homes. After they lie to them, they come in and take their units from them now. I don't know. I think something is wrong with me, but God help me, my mother raised me in a way that I could have an appreciation for how people feel and to have empathy for people. Some people don't have that. They don't have that at all. I mean, God help them.
You keep quiet on this one, They don't worry, they're enjoying life. They're saying they have $2 in their account, but they're changing suit every couple of weeks because the one they was wearing before can't fit again. You get too small. Anyway, Senator.
As I say, no comment.
Senator Cox, you have a good night, sir, and we look forward to seeing and hearing from you very soon.
Yeah, sure, and continue to raise those issues because we have to. The country is in a very, very difficult state right now. And as I said before, the last time I was on, because of how we govern and how we manage, we make it look easy. We made it look easy, and they believe that it was just, all right, they just come and everybody just, but they realize that is not the case. That is not the case. You have to know what you're about. You have to have the competencies. And you have to have empathy. You have to understand how people truly live. You have to care about people. That is, you don't do those things. You just do those things and say that it's politics. You don't take advantage of ordinary people and say that it's politics. You know, and I mean, there's an old adage: once a police, twice a civilian. And I'll leave it right there.
Thank you so very much. But Senator Cox, every time you go, I remember something. I've been seeing a lot of the projects going on in Carriacou, the roads being built and refurbished and that sort of thing. And I see certain people taking praise for that, like if that is their project. Like if all those things were not organized since during your time in the ministry and under the NNP with Honorable Kindra Matthew Institute, that these roads and so, the funding, everything was organized for that. And these projects were put in place. But I see people coming now, promise made, promise delivered. Like if them had anything to do with the roads building?
Well, I don't know if any roads doing. I mean, I see some little in roads, some little by roads. Little, I like to use their words. Little tokenism stuff. Little tokens. I mean, when purchasing a new vehicle is considered a big achievement, I mean that alone should tell you about the measure how success is measured, how development is measured. If development is measured by the purchase of a new vehicle, well, then we're in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. Yeah. So as I said, I have much more to say, but we'll discuss those at another time, at another place. So it's always a pleasure, but I really wanted to come on tonight to touch on that issue. But I also to say that we have to continue, to do our work because people rely on us, even if we are not in government. They need guidance, they need leadership, they need help, and we have to do that because that's what leaders do. They don't lead just in government; you lead in and out of government, and that is how I feel and that is how I operate. So I just want to leave on that. I say you look like I might go on again for another half hour. But so let me give somebody else an opportunity to call and because I'm very passionate about this and I need to condemn this action in every single way. There is nothing right about that. There can never be. There's nothing right about that because you say that you're going to.
Yes,
why
indeed.
are you taking from person to give to others if you're going to build?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to build, tell them don't worry. We're going to start in the next few months, whatever, and dealing with the lands, have the land surveyed and give people hope. This is not bringing no hope to nobody. This is only bringing conflict. Conflict and sorrow to people. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, somebody was given a unit for them to house their family through due diligence process. They waited for years. They sent the application, they checked everything, and only to find out you just come and you just pull the rug from under them and tell them, oh, the process had to do over. You're free to resubmit your name, but we ain't know if you could get the house. What is that about? What is that about? Is that how we govern?
My friend, we know.
I don't know.
We know that very soon we'll be hearing from you again in a different place. I will be listening intently. Thank you so very much, Senator Cox, and we look forward to hearing from you soon again. And say hello to the lovely people of both Carriacou and Petit Martinique for all of us.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yes, folks, we were speaking there with Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox. Yeah, as I was telling you, and he called and he said too, and he knows this is not the first time that the NDC has been doing this sort of thing to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. It's not the first time. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, just quiet.
All right.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And that question is the people ask that, well, how come the former Minister of Social Development and Housing didn't clear the air on that when they use a term saying that cabinet procedures did not follow, or well, she did not follow cabinet procedure to give out the houses. I didn't hear she clear the air or say anything on that. And a lot of people asking me that question. Well, how come the former minister never cleared the air on that or say anything? Mm-hmm. Though we don't believe the strategy NDC is using to victimize people, we don't really believe it. I believe they're using that strategy. They're trying to squeeze people into submission. Squeeze the people of Carriacou into submission. And the guy up there, people maybe think he's this political, excited guy. But to me, he is a guy that he seems like he have a lot of bitterness in him. He treats the people in Carriacou with a lot of bitterness. And you know that from a man when how he treats his enemies, how he treats his prisoners. If he consider you to be his enemy and how he treats you, you know the difference between a man's heart by the way he treats his enemy. And to me, this guy treats the people in Carriacou who he believes is his enemy with bitterness, with a grudge, with an envy. He just come in there and he feel he could, whatever was achieved for the people, he feel he could take it away from them and he could treat them how he want, and they should beg him for him to give it back to them, or come on their knees to him. That he's some super king of Carriacou. That kind of dictatorship, that kind of leadership we've seen in Carriacou will come to an end. But Sheldon, the people want to know from the former Minister of Housing, if this statement by the NDC or that strategy they're using, saying that cabinet procedures wasn't followed, they want us how to clear the air on that. Say something about it. Thank you, Sheldon.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto. Let me just make sure, Lord, I didn't clear the box. Yeah, I cleared the box now. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. But just before I go to that, you know what? Let me take let me take the call and then I'll go play that. So let me see. Hello, good night. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, caller, you're live. Go right ahead.
Yes. Sheldon, comrade, good night.
Hey,
good night.
Doc, man, you disguise the voice on me there, man. You give me a timber I was not accustomed to.
It depends. It depends on the mood. It depends on the geography. It depends on a few things. But I was listening there intently to Senator Nolan Cox, man, and he does make a whole lot of sense. And some of the things he said, I certainly will not emphasize or re-emphasize them. But first of all, let me say, although it's towards the end of the evening, but happy International Women's Day to the phenomenal women of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. I just came from a session up in the arena, Sheldon. Quite a bunch of enthusiastic, energetic women, mothers, aunties, nieces, really fired up, really feeling the pinch of the economic hardships that are meted out to them in Grenada. And quite a few of them said to me, Dr. P, we listen to you and we may not be able to make it back home tonight in time to listen to Sheldon, but you have quite an enthusiastic following. But these are the women, Sheldon. I'll just take a 30 seconds to say that these are the women who hold the families together. They are the ones who take $1, a pound of sugar, Sheldon, and they make a jug of juice. They take a pound of rice and they make a pot of rice and peas. They take a pound of flour and they make an enormous pot of oil down. They take dashing bush callaloo from the yard and they make a great big pot of callaloo soup. They keep the family together. They are the engine of progress and sustainability. You know, some of us men, we can boast that we go out and we work hard and we bring in the money, but the women are the budgeters. They are the ones who ensure that there is money left to take children to and from school and to buy uniforms and to pay for stuff. They are the ones. And today I looked at the innocence and the hardworking faces of these women in St. Patrick's, and I was just in awe. And that has to take me now to where we ended last night and Senator Cox took up today, Sheldon, and to talk about the psychological impact of receiving this unbearable, inhumane notice. You know, Sheldon, you were saying that, you know, they're not sure, some of them are not sure if they're going to get a house. I think, Sheldon, the basic intent is to ensure that some people really some people do not stand a chance to get the title for a unit. It's deliberate. And I have not done the research. But Sheldon, we all know that over 90% of the applicants are women. And what a kind of a news to receive on the eve of International Women's Day. Here was an opportunity for this government. And Sheldon, I know you, we give advice sometimes. Because if Grenada, if people benefit from any programs, Grenada benefits. And these are our people. This is us. On the eve of International Women's Day, what an opportunity that was missed to say to these people, hang in there, all 91 units and all 91 applicants and all 91 who have letters, you will receive your unit very soon. Rather, the news was, all of you who have received letters, those letters mean nothing. Throw it away. Don't even reference it. Because right now, we are starting over. You must now come into the office and make a brand new application. And Senator Cox talked about, you know, all of the plans and preparation people have been making. Listen, Sheldon, these are people who have received letters of entitlement or title to a unit. And I know they have made plans, Sheldon. That's how we move. We save little by little until we have enough to go by court, until we can go down and make a deposit. Some people must have already gone by bullion and paid on a refrigerator and have been making monthly payments because when they move in their apartment, their unit, they want to have it furnished at early. Some probably have sent already to Brooklyn and Toronto to get curtains, Sheldon. You know what new curtains mean to a new place. So now, I mean, this kind of a news must stir up, and it's sad that we're not even hearing the voice of the one who says that he is to fight for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. The representative should at least say something. This is the person who went out there and made the grandiose promises to build and to make it equitable and to seek the interests of the people from Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And this is what he turns around in 8 months and celebrate the 8-month anniversary by doing this. And Sheldon, this is inhumane, it is unconscionable, and it is just plain old wickedness. People without a heart, we call them tonight. So psychologically, I could empathize, Sheldon, and you are there on the program and you're empathizing, and I hear it in your voice because you got family in Carriacou, I know.
A lot of family in Carriacou.
A lot of them here, Sheldon. A lot of them. And we don't treat people like that, Sheldon. Sheldon, we do not treat people like that. We can't. And I'm waiting to hear the voices of the NGOs and the voices of the churches in Carriacou and the voices of the business leaders to talk and to make a plight. This is not right. I want to hear the voice of the minister for housing and the junior minister. Gloria is the one who championed throughout her life. She is an educator and championed the cause of people downtrodden. That's what she stood for. That's what she campaigned on. And right now, I can't see how she could comfortably go to her office in the ministerial complex, knowing that this is what you have become an accomplice to the degradation of families in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and more so women, household heads, and single women and children.
My brother, this is such a sad situation, because knowing the people of Carriacou, I know some of the people that on getting that letter, as far as everybody's concerned, means that you're getting the apartment. So they have family overseas. I know how Carriacou people operate. So I know the family, whether one in North Carolina and one in Texas and one in Brooklyn, would put together and say, we're sending down this for our little sister, or we're sending down this to help this person who is getting the house and so. So they would try to send down, either they send down cash to help, or they try to send down bits and pieces to help make the house into a home. They would try to help as much as they can. That's how Carriacou people operate. I know that. Yeah? So to see somebody coming and trying to take that from them now, after these people have already in several instances made financial, contributions towards moving into those apartments. I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad. And I can imagine the anguish that these people going through with tears in their eyes right now, because that was supposed to be your house. And now you're in a situation where you have none. You're back to square one again, you know. You could imagine the joy that that person felt when they got that letter, when they went there and they get that letter. I could imagine the emotion and the joy. Yes, we get the letter. Oh gosh, I'm so happy. And they're looking at it. You know, I could see people who would probably just go up there to just watch the apartment and say, oh gosh, yes, pretty soon I'm moving in. Just go in. That's human nature. You pass and you want to go and see it and you want to make sure, yes, they're looking at it. You know, I'm moving in soon. Now to get a call, well, I don't even know if they called them. I don't know if they gave them a letter saying so. But to just hear now, the minister saying, all of your letters null and void, to hell with all you. Imagine what that has done to them.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I join with you, Sheldon, because I know this is how, you know, I have spent enough time in Carriacou to know and understand that Carriacou people, they like nice things, and they have a lot of nice things. When you go to their home, they have a lot of things that come from away. When you see the plane come, the osprey is going up. You see suitcases and boxes and stuff going up, because these are things that people are sending for them. Okay? I've had opportunities to walk through and spend some time in customs, and you see the barrels with stuff that people send for them, because they love their family, and they support their family.
Well, some of them does fire the aunt, so we can't say all of them. So I mean, some of them does fire the aunt and thing.
Well, not many who do that.
No comment.
We're not making a light of it, but that has to be a light moment. I mean, because this is not funny one bit, and you know we have no comment about that. But Sheldon, here is the thing, man. We have to, as a people, and I'm not just talking about politics. I mean, outside of the fact that we are the voices in opposition, but we are Grenadians and Carriacouians and Petit Martiniquans. We are people with blood and a brain and feelings like the rest of everybody else. And we can't sit back and tolerate people to treat each other like that without raising and championing their cause and trumpeting the injustices that we see so blatantly and very flagrantly pushed in the open like that. And I mean, it's a sad day for Grenada, Sheldon. It's a very, very sad day for Grenada.
Indeed.
And my heart goes out to the women, Sheldon, the women, the strugglers, the valiant ones. And I am praying that nobody does anything negative towards themselves. Because, Sheldon, I tell you this, if you are sleeping on the floor in your mother's house, or if you are sleeping on a couch, or if you have a piece of foam, or maybe some old clothes that you have been using, and you are praying and counting the days when you will just throw that and burn that up and move into an apartment where you can call your name and where you can receive mails and you can call an address by your name, children, and to have that removed. Let me tell you something. Just the idea of reapplication is a very traumatic experience for people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, some people will be timid and or shaken in not wanting to reapply.
I could understand that, and I could understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Doc, we'd like to thank you so very much for your contribution, as usual. Always timely and always giving a perspective that only you can give in relation to these particular issues. And I want to hear from you tomorrow night again. We have something to discuss tomorrow night. So I want to hear from you tomorrow night again, and if possible, later in the program tonight.
Okay. Take care, man.
Thank you very much, Doc. All right, great. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed, folks. 440-7377, and we have a caller. Good night. Hello, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Hi, good night.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller, and I want to express my disgust with what's taking place in Caribou and Petit Martinique. And I would also like to say that...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would also like to say that I'm very proud of the minister, and that, you know, people in Grenada and Petit Martinique, Carriacou, we elect these people to make our lives better. But this is not being done.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's the total opposite, you know? And I don't know, I feel so embarrassed, so ashamed to be a Grenadian right now.
No. Still feel proud.
Place.
Still feel proud to be a Grenadian, but feel embarrassed at your government. You can be proud to be a Grenadian, no. Now, this is still the best country on earth. We just had the worst government on earth, but this is still the best country on earth. It ain't no way better than here.
The level of victimization that's taking place in Grenada, aren't we all Grenadians?
Of course,
we deserve better. I can't understand how a government could treat its people this way and say that they care. It really hurts my heart. I had to call tonight. I really had to call tonight to express my disgust. You know, this is terrible. You know, and I just want the people of Carriacou to know, you know, hold on, be strong, have faith, and soon enough, it will all be over, and we can get it behind us, because this is it's too much. From one thing to the next, they seem to be taking it every time. I mean, come up with new innovative ways in order to make your citizens' lives comfortable and better. But you keep making it hard. Every turn you take, you're making it harder for us to survive, for us to eat, for us to feed our families. This is terrible, man.
Yes,
this
indeed.
is really, really terrible.
Right.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon.
Thank you very much, caller. So we hope to hear from you soon again. All
yes,
right.
Sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, and again, the voice of the people is the voice of... Yeah, you never hear that yet? They always say the voice of the people is the voice of... Yeah, so you have to be very, very careful how you treat the people. Very, very careful how you treat the people. Yeah, I would have said voice properly, vox properly. I can't remember the exact term. Good night, caller. How are you? Hello? Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, children.
Hi, good night. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
All right.
Um,
No,
yeah,
ignore the radio in the back. Ignore the thing in the back. Lower it down and talk to us. Go ahead.
okay, Sheldon, I'm having a problem. I don't know why these people are always trying to take credit for things that they haven't done. Now, the Simon Beach Road that Tessa is talking about, that is Kate Louise Peters' project. That's been in the making since before election. The money has been allocated for that project and the contract had been signed, sealed, and delivered before the election. So let the Grenadians know this is not an NDC's project, please.
I'll
I'm
make sure.
very disgusted with that. Yeah.
I'll make sure
Let
I
us
do
stop
that.
taking credit for things that is.
All right. And
Okay, thank
we will get
you.
Sister Kate to come on one of these days soon.
Well, I just hope.
All right, my dear. Thank you so very much.
All right.
All right.
Have a blessed night.
Same to you. Yes, and the phone line's running red tonight. Yeah, just see the local line and I saw the overseas line. So callers, you can call back now. Yes, 440-7377. You can call directly or you can also call via the WhatsApp. And remember, you can also call us on, for those of you in North America, yeah, I did see the overseas line ringing a while ago, but we are on a call. So 347-329-3101. And we have a call, I believe, on the local line. Let's go to the line. Good night.
Nice, how you do?
Hey, I'm good, man. Antonito!
Yeah, brother. I'm listening to all the callers tonight, and they spot on, right? Once again, happy night to all the ladies. Special Women's Day. Enjoy yourself. Listening to the issues at hand, right? Grenada, we going through a little scene right now with this government in power, NDC, right? And my little take on the thing is that there are certain things that we can take care of for ourselves, and there are certain things we can do as people. Now, when it comes to administering and bringing forth like policies, the NEC would bring policies that is not like for the man on the ground, and it's very clear. I saw on GIS, Government Information Service, and they've been promoting all what they've done for the year and the years going by and whatever. And nobody seems to be understanding what is the policy. What you're seeing there is pictures. They do a picture in some garden. There's no policy. You're hearing about a minister. This, you're hearing about There's a lot of nonsense that's happening. And what I'm saying, NDC as a government, they do things incognito and they don't know why they do it. The present Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, based on what you, Sheldon, showed us with this act that they want to put in place to kind of censor us with cameras and cell phone and what have you. And I know you did this thing long. I want to know who this thing will affect, because if it affects you or me or the people in the north or the guy up in Mardi Gras up there with the big nose, you understand? I want to know, because if that's the case, we in for a very, very rude awakening. You cannot censor Grenadians and make Grenadians not talk about what happened in the government. There's a lot of things happening in 8 months, and like their supporters say, give them a chance. They're very young. I will give them a chance. I will give them until 2028 if they make it that far.
My brother,
you understand? But
is it a case that we run in a country or we playing lotto? Or this is
we
a
run the
raffle?
country.
It's no chance in this thing. It's either you could do the job or you can't do it.
Exactly.
You don't give chance in these kind of things. There's no lotto. This is not a raffle.
So we supposed to make our country easier to live in, bring down gas price, bring down this and do that. And apparently what's happening right now, I put on my status on my WhatsApp, this subsidy for this light bill thing they're talking about, and they did the thing the 7th of March, and they said this thing was starting February. Come on, people, come on. If you all don't know, if you all cannot do, I mean, you're supposed to read. Look what's happening. Look what is happening. Look carefully what's happening. The people who lost their 150, and they say it was temporary. My God, yes, our budget is 1 year. But look what these people did. Listen to the clips that you, Shalom, playing. Listen to the clips that Master Carl and all these guys playing. Come on. I'm not bashing the government in it. But I agree. They in power, like what, 9 months, going 8 months, whatever. Do what you're supposed to do. But when you bring a bill to the place, and in next parliament, or Tuesday?
On Tuesday.
The next parliament is Tuesday, I think. Next Tuesday coming?
Yes, Tuesday coming, yeah.
Right. So the members, the MPs on the opposition side, including Honorable Delma Thomas, I want to hear what would be her input also. Because you know what? When certain elements who still support the NDC was been saying things on radio and still saying things on radio, I want to hear what is their response, because that particular act, the one pass, that bill, he ain't go fly right in Grenada, he ain't go fly right under me, and good luck with them on that. All I saying, NDC, NMP, whoever, good luck.
All right, my
Shalom,
brother.
you have a good night.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, 4407377. Yeah, and you could call me on WhatsApp. You could call me directly on that number. Yeah, the one that, listen, that road was one of 3 roads under Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis. This other surname I just forget. No, yes, Kate Skeeter Lewis. And that road was basically ready to start. And if they're saying Tessa do road, Tessa not in Parliament, Tessa not in Cabinet, what road Tessa do? A road that all the funding was ready for, all the procedures were completed for it to start, the road start, and now you're saying Tessa do road, Tessa do what road? Watch, don't get me vexed, eh? Right. I just try to stay nice and calm and think, but sometime, yeah. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon Scott.
Camille Teresa Scott.
Yes, sir.
Again, your full government name.
Good night to Grenadians, the home abroad, and the people in Carriacou. Good night. You know, Mr. Scott, I'm sitting in front of my television now, and there is a caller before the lady speak about Sister Kate's project. The young man, it really touched me how that man speaks. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
He really, really touched me as a poor struggling woman in this country. I want to know, Mr. Scott, if the Prime Minister, Mr. Dick Mitchell, as the Prime Minister, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, if this man know what is going on in Carriacou, I want to know if this man know what's going on in Carriacou with the people. Mr. Dick Mitchell as the Prime Minister. My name is Camille Teresa Scott. I mean, these are people, some of the same people that vote for your party, sir. They apply for that house, as Grenadians. And I don't know how you all could sit there and decide not to give them a better home to live in. What is going on with you, sir? Mr. Deacon Mitchell, I'm calling on you, sir. I had to see you to talk to you about that. I won't shake your hand, but I had to ask you some hard questions. Why? I want to know why. Why you punishing? Why you and your rest of ministers punishing the Grenadian people? What we have done to you? What we have done to you? I mean, I want to know what we have done to you for you all to be punishing us. Poor people. Today is International Day for all women, and the amount of women in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, you all send home. Mm-hmm. And you have women in your cabinet that is standing up and speak on the behalf of the women of this country. Remember, your mother is a, and I know some of your women, children that will be women. Why? Why you are doing that to the Grenadian people? I don't understand. I just can't get it. I don't bright like you all, but I can't get why you are doing that to the Grenadian people. And the people in Karakou and in Grenada and the mainland, they had won us. They had won we the Grenadian people. NDC have a track record. And y'all make all your head hard. And all you want vote for these people and look now. Promises. Some of us was too greedy. Look at what's going on now. People is suffering. You have some abroad that support y'all now and they're disappointed in y'all. Now y'all want to shut up people so they won't be able to speak for their own right. That is not right, sir. It is not right. When you hear blight take y'all, do not say people do all you of the wrong things you're doing to the people of this country. Remember, some of these people like toil and work hard to bring Grenada where it is today. You can't do that. You all cannot do that. You are going to suffer in the end. It's not right. Have a heart. That is your symbol. The heart. I want you to think for yourself. Find yourself in a quiet place and meditate on what y'all is doing to the Grenadian people. The tears of the people are going to fall on y'all. I surprised. Watch. I really, really thought when I hear they say NDC win that election, I really tell myself that y'all will do better. It is not right, sir. It is not right. I know the struggle. I know where I come from. I want you all to take a moment, Mr. Lennox Andrews, as took. You work in the Ministry of Finance. I work under you as you can take it. You have a officer and you sit in that cabinet and you won't tell them it's wrong. You all will not tell these people it's wrong. Stand up and speak out for your people. One day you will not be in office, and you want to meet the same people on the way down, I am going to stay on the ground. So when you are coming down, I'm going to catch you all one by one. I stay on the ground. I don't want to fall again. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. It is not right. You all making fun of me, and all you want to see me, or you say some of you all the supporters saying all kind of things. You understand? All kind of man. Remember, Mr. Scott, before I put on my phone. There is a gentleman that met me a morning on a bus and asked up from Brisbane. And the man approached me and he had people on the bus. And he called the former Prime Minister a expiry pinnacle corned beef. They called Dr. Mitchell, Morocco. They call him old. I could call out all the names because I have some of the clips on a phone I used to take.
Let me know bother to call it out. Leave it on their program. Let me know bother it.
It is not nice to do this to people. We are human beings.
Of
we
course.
are blood running through his veins. You don't know what tomorrow will happen to these people,
Yami?
So I'll just stop this thing.
Yami?
Sheldon, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Sheldon Scott.
You'll call me back, if anything. All right. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. And I wanted to deal with the Data Protection Act tonight, but quickly running out of time. But even before I go over to that, I wanted to play something for you because I wanted you all to remember something. When it comes to houses, the political party that should not say anything when it comes to houses is the National Democratic Congress. But I won't play that for you in a little while. Let me take this call. Yeah, let me take the call first. Hello, good night.
Yes, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
Hold on, Sorry. Yes. At this point, I think all the cry for Deacon and for help and for what he do in Grenada needs to just. We don't need to cry anymore. We have seen. You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Yeah.
We have seen. We have had enough. In 8 months, he has done more than what he should have. What would have been done in 8 years. In fact, I mean. No, all I'm saying is that at this point and at this juncture, I don't think that there's any recourse. For some people, there's any recourse because there's nothing happening right now that proves that the National Democratic Congress is going to, suffice and help the Grenadian people and the vulnerable and so forth. So I think at this point and at this juncture, we accept the fact that they have done all this nonsense in the last 8 months. And at this point, we just need to get our machinery in place and do what is necessary. Because I don't think that coming and cry and complain is going to help at this point. It would not, because of the level of hurt and pain that Grenadians are going through, because of the level of hurt, because of the level of disrespect, disregard that Grenadians are going through at this point, the discrimination against women, the firing of persons. I don't think at this point it's going to fall on deaf ears. So I think at this point we need to organize the machinery, put our machinery in place, get ready. Because I don't think that we should, we cannot take any more of this. It's enough. Personally, I think it's enough. You can't tell me that this government, who has come into power, they have done so much, and at the end of the day, you're still telling me that they're young, give them time. They're young, give them time. But look at the amount of nonsense they have done in the space of 8 months. There's no justification at this point, or no asking for time at this point, because of the level of hurt and disrespect that Grenadians are going through at this point. There are persons who are sent home and have not yet paid. Not yet been paid. There are persons who are sent home and don't know where the next meal coming out. And I think Carriacou, the level of disrespect that went on in Carriacou, and what's happening now with the electronic bill I think it's an electronic bill where they want to tell you they could come in your house and take this and that and the other, and this is going against, if it's explained properly, and from what I understand, it's going against my right as a citizen of Grenada. It's violating my right. So once I think I understand it, and I think it's going against my right, what else should we endure? What else can we as Grenadians endure? Do you think that is on? Begging Deacon Mitchell to do. He's not allowing. He is aware. He is aware of the things that are happening. You can't tell me he wasn't aware that they null and void the letters in Carriacou. You can't tell me he's not that. There's so much things that are being done, and you cannot tell me that he's not aware to even come out and say, well, look, this is the story. And even what makes it even worse is the fact that they're not. The only thing they come out to do and tell you is they fire this person. They send home the labor commissioner. They send home the sanitizers and the monitors. They take away the money from the 150. They add 2,000 and that's the only thing they come in and tell you. So why I'm not going to call and cry for them to do better, because it's not in their DNA. It's not part of their DNA. It's not part of their ideology. It was clear in 2008 and 2013 the type of people we were dealing with. And Grenadians decided that they were tired with Dr. Mitchell again, and they voted him out of Prime Minister. And at the end of the day, look at what is happening again. I am not in support of begging this government to do better. There's not in their DNA.
All right.
At this point, we need to organize our get our structure back in place and do what is necessary, because this is making no sense. Have a good day.
All
Good
right.
night.
Thank
I'm
you very
sorry.
much, caller. And let me just clear the box because I know somebody was trying to get through. Let me see if I'll get that caller now. Before and just two follow-ons. Two follow-ons to the last caller. One, yeah, the Prime Minister was supposed to hold today a special press briefing. That was supposed to take place 10 a.m. this morning. It never happened. It ain't take place. The Prime Minister was supposed to hold that special press briefing. I wonder what afraid they get asked so that all of a sudden they duck it. We have a caller online. Hello.
Good night. Good night, Sheldon. Good night to you and to your listening public.
Hi, good night.
Yeah, Sheldon, first of all, I want to extend greetings to all the women of Grenada. Well, it's International Women's Day, and I want to say to my sisters, to those in Grenada and abroad, one sister abroad, and all the ladies of the world, my very good friend and my mother in Canada, Miss Evelyn Lalji. I want to extend Happy Women's Day to you and all the women of Grenada and all my friends in St. Vincent and Grenada, St. Patrick's, and Otwide. Also, then, this news is disturbing. It's very disturbing. I remember some years ago, and I like to deal with history. There were some houses built in La Colombe in St. David's, and it was not given out by the then government there, but the next one came into office and it was given to them. And it's the same kind of behavior they dealt with in the past. It's the same thing they're doing now to the people in Carriacou. Now, how possible the letters could be issued and you're telling them no, the letters is null and void because you want to give your own people? Because you have people to put there? Come on. Times that Grenada should see. And I always advocate in it. It's women power could shake the world. So I will call on all the women in Carriacou, Grenada. I will say like a certain person, Piti Matnik, Carriacou, and Grenada. Come out and demonstrate against these principles, these hardliners, these people that have no heart, these people that don't seem to understand what they're doing. And still for all, there are some people that telling you, hush your mouth. Why you calling the program? Why you calling on faith? It is unbelievable on the part of these people who govern the country today and those diehard supporters of theirs who trying to shut up people and tell you you're not supposed to call and don't call and talk and no program. They want to muzzle you. They want to put you in a place that maybe lock you up in a prison so you can call no program. These people don't have a heart. These people is not good for Grenadian. And I will continue to say it and loud and clear anywhere I go. It's time to get rid of them. It's time that we should come out and demonstrate against the behavior of these guys. People are suffering. People are feeling the pressure. It's time to do something. And I don't want to say like others. I believe some say give them a chance to wait. No, they go kill half of the people going to die. And I hope they start built in place for when some people get mentally ill, because a lot is going to happen. A lot of mental illness is going to take place, more than what we have already. It's time that we should see that. We have to correct it, and we have to start correcting it now. It's time to get rid of them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sheldon.
Thank you very much, caller. Yes, indeed, 440-7377. And yeah, I can't even get a chance to touch certain thing, you know. Yeah, some people actually have to try and see. Let me see if I could call back this caller. Yeah, they've been persistently trying to get through. So let me see if I could reconnect with them. And a special good night, caller.
Trying. Yeah.
Hello? Yes. Yeah, I call you back because I realize you've been trying to get through. So a special good night to you, caller.
Yeah.
You're live.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Good night. I know it is difficult for particularly the people in Carriacou, the psychological impact of them they have their homes. They was under the impression that they had a house, and now you are the government making that statement. I consider the statement as outrageous. I don't know to what extent it could be legally challenged, but if it could, it should be challenged. But the statement is not really the legality of it. It should be condemned by organization, Gino and other organizations, and just ordinary people in the society. The National Democratic Congress have a history of being extremely hostile to the people in the lower income group. They did it in 1990. They did it in 2008. And this period, 2008, yes. And in this period is the worst. If the National Democratic Congress victimization program become well entrenched, it's going to seriously damage the very fabric of our society. I don't know if there is any other political party in the Caribbean have a track record like the NDC of attacking the vulnerable. Because that is exactly what they're doing. They go after the elderly, they go after the physically challenged, and they go after the disadvantaged children. You go after the women of Carriacou, you go after the Imanis. They did it in 2008. Already, a lot of the people in the Imani program is practically walking on ice. I have spoken to some of the women in the caregiving program, and sometimes it's kind of sad to speak to them, you know? So it seems as I have a cough, so I just believe that is the NDC, maybe some people should do a sociological research to find out why they're like that.
Indeed.
Thank you.
All right, caller. Thank you so very much. Let me see if I could reach our next one of the callers that was trying. Yeah, sometimes when they're trying to call and they didn't get through one way, I'm trying to reach them. Let me see if I could get this one. Yeah, let me try and get this caller on. Hello, good night. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Yes, sir. You're live. Go right ahead.
Listen, I never thought I would see this thing happening so soon because, Sheldon, I told you before, NC is like a train. They run on a line. They cannot go out of the line. There's nothing they DNA. I used to drive children in 2008, 2013. And Sheldon, when I see people couldn't pay the children's school fee, I had to tell them, go on, you don't owe me nothing. I had to buy pants. I had to buy top. And I spent over $300 to children in $5 and $10 to give parents for lunch and bus. And you mean that thing come back on us so quick, boy? That same thing come back at you, but you was now. Jesus Christ, but you know, when I saw the younger young people amidst the NBC, I say, well, I feel they could do a little bit better. Let me give them some time. But from day one, they start to be negative. So how long do you think you go on like this for? And I wonder you remember how I spelled diaspora there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember.
All right. Because you ain't them. You ain't the politicians who was championing the cause of the NDC. You ain't the businessmen who was championing the cause. You ain't the taxi men. You ain't them at all. They're quiet. Mm-hmm. But Sheldon, please, for God's sake, you just continue what you're doing and be careful.
All
because
right.
they're trying to pass some law
But you
that will
know who they
that
want. You know who they want.
yeah, but and it's the same thing Biden doing. Same thing Biden doing. So I don't know if they pass on that to Deacon and they pass on that to the LEC. So it's something that is cooking that, but at the end of the day, the struggle is on and we have to fight it. May God help you to continue the work that you're doing. Help Master Carl, help Mr. Pierre, help KB and all the guys who are making sacrifice for us. We really, 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 really appreciate it. And we pray by God's grace that at the end of the day, what we expect to happen will happen in due time. Let us not be too busy for it. Let us not try to create no violence or anything like that. Let us do it peacefully and positively, and let us stop the talk, and sooner or later we go walk the walk. May God bless you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Blessings.
And we have a caller. Good night.
Yeah, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, good night, man. How are you?
At last, I'm okay, but at last I get you. I get you. Know, like I called you said before. Then after
Yeah, once you
just
hear a person talking, it doesn't make sense calling because I can't take the call, cut off the person and take the call. So you had to wait until they're done. But go ahead.
yeah. Brother Sheldon, you know, I asked myself the question, and many Grenadians asked themselves the question: what have the women of Grenada Caribbean Diplomatic did to the NC government? What crime they committed? They did any wrong? That the terror, you have to terrorize them so? But Sheldon, for someone to come into the world, they must have a mother and a father. Right? They must have a mother and a father. And when you check the weakness that is taking place in Grenada here, especially towards the women, and we celebrate International Women's Day today, and this is what people people that have mother, and we're treating the women of Greater Caribbean Diplomatic in that way. But that is that is just like terrorist act. You know, like you're just terrorizing people from one to the next. The women working in faith base, you send them home, you don't pay them. Some of them working other place again in Mecklenburg, you send them home, you give them my money. But like that money, you get like $30,000, like if you go last them until the rest of their life. If you live for 30, 40 years, like if the money go last them forever. Right? When you look again, Brother Sheldon, again, many things going on in the country. And you have some people, they quiet and they enjoy it. That is good and it's pleasant to them. Where are the heart of, where are these people? They don't have a heart? They don't have a heart to consider and to say to the government that what they go on the wrong road. Everyone, we are human beings, and you have to treat human beings the way they should be treated. You have to treat them the way, because many of the people they do, some of the people that they doing that, they support them, they vote for them, and you promise them they're gonna make it permanent. You didn't make it permanent. You promise them you will eradicate poverty. You didn't do that. Instead of making life better, you're making their life worse and worse every day, from one to the next. And what shall I know how good and pleasant it'll be when you have your own key for your home, and when you get a letter state that from the government that you're going to get that house, an income and the government telling you have to reapply. But actually, I do believe that reapply, then people they won't get house. They won't get that house. So everything that NMB did to help better the people's life of Green Caribbean Mathematic, income and the government and doing the good and bringing doing the bad to the Ghanaian people. I remember the Prime Minister said the Ghanaian people need a lot of money. They need a lot of money. They need a lot of money, and they need good. They need house, and they need good housing unit. Right? And the government builds house. And what do you find happen? People get a letter for the house, and you take it. You telling people that was not. They didn't go through the right procedure. That is it was wrong. But the thing was not right. So they had to do. They had to do over. They had to apply over. So why you didn't say okay, like them who get the house already, right? If you want to build houses, the land, people say the lands in Carriacou. You could go and get land and build house for other people. So, but when you're doing that, so it's taking away the people. You tell people to throw the letter that they got. The guy is not good. And so you're taking back at the house from these people to give your supporters. But that is exactly what they're doing. Right?
All right.
To get the supporters. And Brother Sean, I say, if you have 400 person working and you send them two, right? You send them 200 and you take back 200, put 200 workers back on work. You don't add it. It's the same amount that are going to be there. Brother Sean, we call up for the people going to
Okay.
we have to speak out and against the evil that is taking place in our country.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. All right. Yeah. And I'm going to take a short break from the calls right now. Yeah. I'm going to take a short break from. No, I'm not going to start on another issue. Yeah. We're going to deal with the Data Protection Act for the entire program tomorrow night because that is so in depth. And I'm seeing one of my good friends here messaged me and they say, Shalan, no, don't start on that tonight because the amount of things that you have to say in relation to that and the depth in which you have to go into that, it doesn't make sense going into that tonight. I'm taking their advice. I'll leave that alone. I have everything queued up here, everything to bring up, but I will deal with that one tomorrow night. So as I say, I'm holding off from the calls for a little while because I want to remind you all of something. Listen, 2008 was 15 years ago. It means that if all things go equal and the NDC remains in office for 5 years, that those people who were born back in 2008 will be first-time voters. Yeah? They may just be making it in to be first-time voters at the general elections. So in other words, they were babies. And some of the people who are now getting to that age that they will be able to vote, those people were 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, those kind of things, when the NDC was in office. So they don't know when the NDC had a minister, a youth, that came and said this on the 22nd day of July in the year 2008. That the NDC minister who was in charge of the Ministry of Youth at that point in time came and said this to the young people.
Inclusive. I want to say to you how much I cherish this moment to be here with you this morning. For me, it is a wonderful opportunity and a pleasant occasion. I want to say to you that I admire all of you. To me, you are all my children. And as you all know, every parent wants good for his child. So to you, I want good for all of you. Please be assured. Please be assured. Please be assured. Please be assured that my government will not send anyone home, despite rumors of the contrary.
Let me just say to all those young people who are getting to that age where you can vote, this was said at the Grenada Trade Center to the young people who were in the Imani program in 2008. And when July 8 came around and the New National Party lost the general election, this is what was told to those Imani trainees. You know what happened to them just a few months later? They went straight home. They fired all of them. They fired onto the staff in the ministry that was dealing with the Imani program. So they have a historical precedent of the behavior that you're seeing right now. Are telling people, we're going to give you all contracts. Yeah? Right now the health wardens waiting to hear. They call them in a meeting. The health wardens waiting to hear what's happening with them. Because right now, Mr. James in charge, Mr. James can even tell them, well, look, government doing this or doing that. So these people have to go to sleep every night with the mental anguish, same as the marketing board workers had to go through, same as the faith workers had to go through, same as the CJA workers had to go through, same as many of the security workers from all the different sites that have been fired had to go through, same as many other categories of workers in the housing brigades and all the other things that had to go through. Same as the people in Carriacou who lost their houses had to go through. Same as all the people that used to get the 150 and some of them ain't getting nothing. And others are not getting the 150, some of them only getting $75. Same as all of them had to go through. So it's not the first time NDC doing this kind of thing. It is in the DNA, the makeup of the National Democratic Congress to act the way they act in. And when you try to tell them about what people are going through and what people are feeling, they come and they tell you, we in power and it's that. We in power and it's that. The most dunce, unintellectual statement that could be made by anybody, because it shows a lack of capacity to discuss an issue from a sensible point of view. They have no facts to back up what they say. They can't say that they have done anything, so they just come and they watch you, and it's that. And they feel like it's the end of the conversation. The end of the conversation going to be, and I'm speaking here especially to those of you that are young people that may have never heard what I played a while ago. That was Mr. Patrick Simmons. He was the Minister of Youth. He watched the faces of those young people. We still have the video. He watched the faces of those young people. Some of them take out the NDC rag and they're waving it because he said they're not going home. All man, Jack and the brother, by the end of 2008, home. The staff, home. So don't think this is something new with them. This is the behavior. We, the ones who know better, did not do a good enough job of educating the first-time voters at the last election, and even some who voted in 2018. We did not do a good enough job of educating them as to the DNA, the makeup, the mindset of the National Democratic Congress. You see what they're focusing on? Yeah. Deal with the freight costs on the port, but you ain't seeing it in your pocket. The people who selling the goods, they're seeing the profit because they're paying less there, so they're saving. But you're not seeing it because they are only trying to help their friends and fill their pocket because, you know, same as you and I know, they know very well it's one term they have. So right now they're into full their pocket mode. That is why they want to pass act to stop information from coming out and so on, because they are in full their pocket mode. So that was Mr. Patrick Simmons. So when you hear that they're taking houses from people, these are the people that gave up those same houses that was built in Carriacou. Some of us forget that the same NDC gave up those houses when they were in office. It is the NNP that had to come back into office and negotiate with the Chinese to honor that part of the agreement because the NDC administration said, we broke. So don't give us the house. The money was going to use to build those houses. The same houses you're seeing in Corinth and St. David right now. The same houses you're seeing in Carriacou. The same houses you're seeing up in St. Patrick and in St. Mark. Those same houses, those very same houses, the NDC administration had given them up. They said they broke. They told the Chinese government, watch, those are the stadium, those are the houses. Give us the money. We had to pay staff. We had to pay salaries. We broke. In fact, don't take my word for it. Let me play Mr. Patrick Simmons again for you. I think we have enough time.
Brothers and sisters, in 2008, after receiving the instrument to be your Minister for Youth, Empowerment, Sports and Culture, I did make mention to the general public in Grenada and also to the people in the diaspora that I came upon a document that would have spoken to and gave some details on the construction, on the design and the construction of a national stadium, i.e. track and field and football. I can also recall that during that process of 2008, or during the period of 2008 to 2009, myself and the policy advisor at the time, Brother Fullerton, would have visited the Chinese ambassador on 4 different occasions with 4 different permanent secretaries to discuss the issue of the National Stadium. And brothers and sisters, as the record will show, that the ambassador at the time said to us in uncertain terms that he cannot honor what we brought forward to him because there was no signed deal on the stadium. And that was the truth then, and it is still today. So we proceed through the guidance of the cabinet, and if I may state here, there was one senator, Senator Glenwell, who was the minister responsible for housing, made mention to the cabinet of Grenada at the time in 2008 that it could have been a good idea if we asked the Chinese ambassador to defer on the housing project, and the monies that we would have saved from that, we're going to use it for the construction of the National Stadium. The Chinese ambassador would have agreed to the recommendation.
So you're hearing, these people gave up the houses to get a stadium that was already funded. The new National Party came in and was able to get the stadium. The Karani James Athletic Stadium, yeah, we were able to get that built and still get the houses that they have now denied the people that already received letters to go in. In fact, hear that part again. I want you to hear clearly what it is he said.
If I may state here, there was one senator, Senator Glenwell, who was the minister responsible for housing, made mention to the cabinet of Grenada at the time in 2008 that it could have been a good idea if we asked the Chinese ambassador to defer on the housing project, and the monies that we would have saved from that.
So don't do the houses, give us the money. I don't think it was the stadium alone they wanted to spend that money on, because they never end up spending it on the stadium anyway. We came back in and we were able to get the stadium done and get the houses. You see, I keep telling you all, the young voters, the people who are going to be voting this first time at the next election, be that election this year, be that election next year, be that election the year after that, whenever that election comes, the young people that are voting, they don't know about these things. They don't know about the historical precedent, the pattern of the NDC when they're in office. So it is up to us to speak to them. It is up to us to tell them what happened before, because you're seeing it coming ball by ball, play by play. You're seeing all of it happening again now, and we're going to go a little over 10. We're going to go a little over 10 o'clock tonight. Yeah? You're seeing it ball by ball, play by play. This is how the NDC operates. This is how they behave. So this is nothing new. This is nothing new. They gave up the houses, you know. So imagine the NDC said, look, for a stadium, in fact, let me play something for you. I'm going to play here the ambassador of China at the point in time when we had the sod turning. I was still within the Ministry of Sports. When we had the sod turning on the 17th of December 2013. When we had the sod turning for the building of the athletic stadium. And here what she said in relation to the building of the athletic stadium.
And this is a Christmas gift to all the Grenadian people. A gift from the government and the people of the People's Republic of China to the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This is, of course, a gift of Christmas, but absolutely not for that only. It is a gift for the people of Grenada in your future life. 8 years ago, Your Right Honorable, when we came back to Grenada, we promised at the request of the government of Grenada that we would help Grenadian people to build up a stadium. You're right, Honorable, and that reminds me, my first meeting with you, You correct my pronunciation by saying it is stadia instead of stadium.
And I hope you all understand what that means. Stadia means more than one. Stadium means one. So in her first meeting with Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Madame Wu Boqian, who was then the Chinese ambassador to Grenada, when the sword turning was taking place, she said, Dr. Mitchell, remind her, hey, it's not one stadium all you had to build for us, and it's two. Meanwhile, the NDC was giving up houses to get a stadium that was already promised because they did not have the capacity to negotiate with the Chinese to get both the stadium and the houses. So they tried to give up one, which they didn't have to do, because now you are seeing it, the rebuilt Kirani James Athletic Stadium. You're seeing that there, and you're seeing the houses. So the same people that gave up the houses now want to come and take the houses away from the people of Carriacou. The same people who gave up the houses, right now, all they're planning to do is put their people inside there. You know? All zone. They're looking to jam their people inside there. So if NNP people feel you have a good chance at getting in Corinth, listen to what's taking place with some of the NDC people that passing out there and showing what all you feel like getting out there. I hear your name on list. You don't get none. Yes, they will stay and watch it. That's the kind of behavior from the same people that gave up those houses. Talking about to go build 500 a year. Now they start to backtrack on the 500 per year. Oh, we're going to look for partners to do it instead. So the stories start to change now. And it's not the first time. These things have happened before. It is the way that the National Democratic Congress operates. It's not the first time. It's not the second time. That is the way that the NDC operates. So nothing they do would surprise me. I mean, I am there today, and next thing I'm hearing of an NDC meeting in the south of the island. Yeah, I'll say it. An NDC meeting in the south of the island to discuss a grant program. Not a meeting that is open to everybody in the south of the island so that me or you or this one or that one could go to that meeting and find out about a grant, because the grant is coming from the consolidated fund, your and my money, but yet the NDC is holding a meeting with their supporters to tell them about the grant funding. Tell me a lie. All your NDC, call all your custom calling, call me whatever names, accuse me or whatever, and tell me that I'm lying, that that meeting did not take place in the south of the island in the valley today. That you all called in your NDC people and prep them and prime them so that they can get money under that grant program. And that is not NDC money. That is money from the consolidated fund. But all you went and all you prep all your people so that they would be getting it. They didn't have an open meeting and say everybody come, you know. They didn't go in the trade center and open out and say, well, everybody come. They didn't go in the youth center and say everybody come, or some other location. Yeah? That is what they did. But they feel I don't know what's going on in this place. They feel I don't know these things. I know what's going on. That's why they feel they could do what they do, and they could do it and try and shut us up. But I know what's going on. I know you all have that meeting. Don't be surprised. I tell all you what's going on in the meeting too, you know, but we're nearly out of time for tonight. As I said, I'm staying a little bit after 10. Yeah? But those are the type of things that are happening. That's the type of behavior of the National Democratic Congress. Folks, I think that's all the time I'm going to take tonight. I want to make sure that tomorrow night we are going to keep it tight. Tomorrow night. I know the Carriacou issue is a very emotional one. And some people may find that, yes, I'm allowed people to speak for a while on tonight. The reason is it's an emotional issue. Sometimes you have to allow people to let it out. Yeah? And you realize quite a few people called and I just let them talk. Let them vent it. Because it's hurting. And as it's hurting, people have to speak about it. Yeah? So that's why tonight I let people vent. Tomorrow night we're going to try to keep it tight. We're going to try to keep it within 2 minutes with each of the calls. because we have a lot to discuss in relation to the data protection bill. And I want you all to understand going into the weekend, I want you all to have a clear understanding of what the NDC administration, I started to call them the Gestapo, the NDC administration, in their rush to hush, is trying to bring to Parliament on Tuesday. Again, I'm sounding this warning to the NDC. Take that bill off the order paper. Take that bill off the order paper. There should be no first reading of that bill. Not even a first reading of that bill taking place on Tuesdays. Between all you cancel the Parliament sitting totally, or all you take that bill off the order paper. All right. Folks, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's been wonderful to be here with you. And of course, it's always a pleasure interacting with all of you. I'd like to thank all of you that called and interacted with us tonight. And of course, we look forward to interacting with you tomorrow and continuing. I just confirmed tonight a guest two guests for next week. I have one for Monday and one for on Thursday. But I'll be letting you all know a bit more about that tomorrow and over the next few days. If you keep in touch, make sure you subscribe to the Talking Points page. Make sure you follow the Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to Talking Points on YouTube. Get your friends, your family, everyone to subscribe. And we will be telling you a bit more about what is going on. All right? So, in whatever you say, whatever you do, do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. We love each and every one of you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here. And let's play this one for them tonight.
Let's go. I really had fun writing this ISO, so please don't take me serious. Oh no. And if you take it out of context, it's your damn business when you get vexed. They say I only sing when the Congress in power. That may as well be the case. It doesn't change the price of rice and sugar. And then we get them back on its who the hell know where they go. Maybe by the Baptist man for Shango. But they have a great history of returning with landslide victory. But I could see they're making preparation, even though they don't have in convention. So forget NNP and govern the place, cause too much tears run down people's face. Falling with their mouth closed. How they do that, only God knows. Man who could talk, they balling with their jaws locked. I thought only dummies used to do that. A lady told me she's dying inside slowly, but she don't mind once it's NDC killing she. She say we had enough under Claudius, so nothing wrong if baby Jesus kill us. Democratization was early as our inception. We always had freedom of speech, lap and cut, just as we walk the street. But when your mouth start to run as river, like them guns on the port, you need silencer. Too much sensitive information end up in the hands of KB and Sheldon. But practices and principles are there to follow. You can't just do anything by just so. But when the sheet hit the street, some poor NNP insider gets the blame for licking it. So step up and optimize your performance, cause you already failed in your first 8 months. Social media can fool people barely. And by the way, you promise us a lot of money. They crying with their mouths closed. How they do that, only God knows. They're afraid to talk your supporters on the attack when they say is that. A man told Shaggy that he worked so hard to build the party, now they treating him real bad. He told PM that he's not blind, he ain't taking no 6 for no 9. Putting more money in people's pocket was your brainchild. Please don't forget it. There can be no transformation without increased remuneration.